to another world full of talk. You see, that's all that takes place. There's a world talking, thinking, processing into words, talking, communicating. But no one knows what they're talking about. Not even Buddha, Christ, Ramana. They didn't know what they were talking about. The body was talking about. But they knew what they were, what they are, what the source of their beingness was. They knew what the whole ethos of life meant, you know. But they couldn't talk about it, you see, because it's a second-hand way of projecting into this noise, into this energy, into this beauty. You see, the politicians, they don't know what they're talking about. The corporations don't know what they're talking about. The theorists don't know what they're talking about. Religion don't know what they're talking about. Spirituality, no, not known. Even this one, even I, especially I, you see, I never knows what it's talking about. You see, freedom is to understand that the thoughts are just a kind of a material process made and designed from sound, symbols and words into an active way of living, you know. This is very active thinking. Think and we will be active, you see. We will act out this play of thoughts that we think we created or something else created, but we are able to enhance them and, you know, juxtapose them, manipulate them in some way to get some order or to get some control or to get some power or to get some freedom or to get some enlightenment. So we can manipulate them and juxtapose these thoughts in certain ways to actually make our life feel as if it's okay, you know, it's perfect. You see, firstly, anyone that talks has to understand that firstly they don't know what they are talking about. Whether they have researched the subject, whether it's something that has been passed through books or dialogues, or you juxtaposed, you know, how the artist takes something from classicism into modern day style of their own, and it becomes a new era of art, you know. So everything is shared. You have to admit that everything that you talk about is shared. The language is shared, the meaning of the words are shared, and what you assume as a subject is now going to be shared. You see, we're not accurately projecting what the subject is, because we don't know what the subject is. I appear to be the subject. If I'm talking about myself, I appear to be talking about this subject, which is obviously looking as if it is an object. So the minute you talk, the minute you think, you're creating a subject from that what is perceived. The minute you give that what is perceived a name, you can start the story going on about that one. So Graham is the object, that's the name. Now Graham is now the subject, because we can identify with the name, which is a thought. And the thought of Graham is, what are we thinking about this Graham guy? What can we think about this person? Oh, another name, you see? When you talk, you're talking about opposing values. If it's not about you, Well, actually, when it is about you, it's about you within the world. So there are two. There are you and the world, or you and the space or the others around you. The subject is between you and the world, you see. If the subject is about your perception through your conditioned understanding and your culture and everything that you believe in, everything that you know, everything that you've read, everything that you've learned, researched educationally, thoughtfully, actively, the subject is taking a side, see? Because I see the side of religion, hypothetical, I don't see the side of religion. So the speaker of whatever is talking says, I see the side of religion. It is completely not what the atheists say, you see? So you've now got two sides. You've now got a for and against. You've now got the Republicans and the Democrats. You've now got the Conservatives and the Labour. You've now got the, what do you call it, the communist against the capitalist. You've all got these sides. So you're now divided what your subject is away from, let's say 50% of that population, that listeners. Okay. So you're not talking accurately about the truth. You see, no one can talk accurately about the truth. The truth is beyond religion, science, spirituality, nature, all the things that have appeared in our thinking mechanism, our body of thoughts. So how can we know the truth, you see? The truth has to be primary. It has to be before thoughts. It has to be before I. It has to be before the universe. It has to be even before consciousness, maybe? I don't know, is consciousness just the truth? It's very easy to experience profound God consciousness and say that's the truth. Because the one that says that's the truth is separate from that what it has experienced. That's the truth. So there's me and that. Or is me and this? Yeah, me and this. Is me and this the truth? What are we talking about this? Are we talking about the body, or are we talking about that what is sourcing the body? That what is sourcing the body is life. That is what sourcing everything around us is life. Life is outside, life is inside, life is everywhere like space, says the Avadut. Nectarian knowledge, everywhere like space. Nectarian knowledge, what is it? It's the pollen, the essence, the sweetness, the fragrance of that what it is. We call it life. It's a word. Some call it consciousness. Some foolishly call it our God. Not our God. The essence can be God. So it's not a thing. It's not an object. It's not that what is separate. The essence cannot be separate. We're essentially experiencing our essential self in an essential world. How many speakers stand up to get votes for the election and speak like that? What about my mortgage? What about my money? What about my interest? What about my land? What about my price of food? What about my religion? What about my beliefs? What are you going to do about these things? What are you going to do for me? that's going to benefit me in this world. These are all thoughts. You see, the freedom of thinking reveals the truth, not the thoughts. How can you reveal the truth with the freedom of thinking and then project, the truth through thoughts, through words, through creations? Now, when the child is 4 days old and God walks in front of it, no one else is, let's say this God is a light, right? Or a beautiful human image of light, colossal, and it walks in front of the 4-day-old child. No one else sees it. Everyone is in the room, but they're looking at the child, but the child's looking past them, beyond them, and they sees this incredible light. Well, how does it project what it sees without the knowledge, without the thoughts, without the information, without the conditioned language? How does it project what it sees? Like this. And then it looks back at the parents and all the people around and goes back to that conditioned way of life. Gucci gucci goo. Oh, you're so beautiful, you're so cute, you're so perfect. And in 50 years' time, it doesn't say, I remember when I was 4 days old, I saw God. Because the child and its witnessing was inseparable from that what it sees. The worlds separate, the thoughts separate. This is what we do as humans. We become imbalanced. Human and thoughts, they're okay, very simplistic thoughts, very simplistic ways. I have food, you can have it. I'll keep some for myself. Everything's okay. I have money, you can have it. I'll keep some for myself. Everything's okay. But we don't live like that. We love separation until that damn day when you're out in your beautiful yacht or paddle boat on your own and you're drinking the finest wine and eating the finest caviar or sandwiches or whatever it is. Doesn't matter what level you're on, and you say, I have everything, And then the thought comes and says, but there's something missing. And this is the first thought that you'll ever experience coming from your horror. This one won't come from your head. This one is non-divisive. This one is a freeing thought. There must be something more. The minute you understand what this thought is, the minute this thought is allowed to pass through your eye, you're going to return back to that yacht. You can return back to the paddleboat. You can return back to the knowing of how wonderful life is. But you don't need to find anything more anymore. Because you've witnessed the light. You've concentrated and focused on the truth. The source of your being is the very core of your body. What does a core mean? It's like the apple, the seed of your life that is connected to the umbilical, that is invisible to that what the Hindus call Vishnu. Is there separation between the umbilical and Vishnu, which is a doorway to the light? Is there separation? Can there be separation? If it's cut within, it's separate. The umbilical cord of the parent is cut, separate. Human is born. Being, never cut. Never separate. Nothing can separate. Nothing can cut this umbilical cord, this connection to source. You don't need words and thoughts and meanings and practices and understanding and information and hopes and beliefs and intelligence and attachments and associations to what is already that. You see, that is not what most spiritual speakers are talking about. That. They're not saying there's me and that. The body is a vessel that does actions to try and explain. It's the same as the mind, the same as the words, the same as the thoughts. The thoughts and the words have forced the body into doing active, copying and replicating the mind. Because the mind rules the body. The mind seems to be the controller of the body. And the mind actually loses sight that the body, it is useless without the body. And it starts forgetting about the body. And most minds out there, they don't forget about their own body, they forget about every other body, you see? And they force wars, and they force crimes, and they force, and it doesn't have to be, who commits a crime, you see? You won't get a speaker saying, there are no crimes. And if there are crimes, whatever it is, if it's death, murder, we are all collectively responsible for it. While we think that there is a separation between each other. We're all committing suicide when we kill another human. Our human is seeking a reconnection to the umbilical cord of the parent, but doesn't know how to do it, you see. And the human won't be able to do it. Because it's not nature. The umbilical cord has to be cut from the parent. So it's not nature. But the being, it can overpower the human. Not forever. Just for that self-inquiry to say, whoa, what are we doing? Why are we opposing each other? Why are we using thoughts and words to create division? Why are we making opposites so distasteful? Why can't we just eliminate good and bad and simply be? Why can we not eliminate Democrats and Republicans and simply be? Why can we not eliminate me and the world as two entities and simply be? And once the beingness is experienced, there's no need for wars. There's no need for religion. There's no need for words. There's no need for thoughts. Because that what is uses its human side to do what it loves to do. It loves to be alive. It loves to be a body. It loves to be swimming, dancing. But it also doesn't need to think about there must be something more anymore. Because the being and the human have come together. And there's no opposing values. There's no human and being. There is just that, what we are. Beyond thoughts, beyond words, beyond I, beyond religion. Whether it's you want to call yourself as all holy, whole consciousness. But you're not talking about yourself. You're talking about what all of this is. Into the galaxies, into the cosmos, into the future, into the past, into the self, into the emptiness, into this nothingness, into the somethingness, into the nature, into the God, into the love. All is one. Do you need to be religious or scientific to discover yourself? Or to discover the truth of why you're here and what you're here as? Are we going to spend another 15 centuries relying on past, relying on information, relying on materialistic processed words and thoughts, relying on entertaining religion or deep and dogmatic religion? Are we going to rely on this controlling element from speakers who don't know what they're talking about? Like this one doesn't know what he's talking about, but he knows where he's talking from. That's the difference. The speakers, the politicians, they're all talking from their body, from their personal, from their I, from their ego, from their mind. Like this one is now. But they don't know what the source of what they are is, to allow this body and mind to project very unstable thoughts and words. No answer. About you or anyone else, no answer. But within myself, there is only freedom. Freedom may take this body away. You know? It's not, I was in a car accident and the car took the body away. I was in a war and the bomb took the body away. No, freedom took the body here and freedom will take the body away. It's the in-between bit that we don't compute with. We think we have to be a prisoner in life when we're born free like the child. But we have to act out. Have to be active, the mind says. Follow the guidelines, follow the controls, follow the rules, follow the regulations, follow the people who know what they're talking about. People don't know what they're talking about. The minute you understand and you admit to this, you can say, well, there must be something more then. And then you discover the more. How would I discover the more? Only you can discover your more. And you'll discover that your more is the same more as all mores, as the individual more. Nonsense, yeah?